What's going on, guys? Ashtinho Plays here, and welcome back to another episode of the FIFA 16 Sheffield United Career Mode series. And today we have the last episode of this week in episode 12 of season 4. So another 3 games in this episode, and once again it is sure to be exciting, as I always hope it is. I was about to say 3 league games in an episode, but it actually isn't, because the FA Cup campaign begins this episode with a 3rd round tie at home to Reading. So we'll see how we do in that, but for now, focus is on the return match against West Brom. We only played them last episode actually, so it's a bit of deja vu, but yeah, I mean, you get this sometimes in career mode. The way the fixtures are generated, it is possible you could literally play a team in your last game of the first half of any season, and then in the first game of the second half of the season you play that same team again, like back-to-back games against them. I have had that before, but that is just part of the game's coding, so you've got to deal with it. So 2 games against West Brom in quick succession it is then. It was 2-1 last time against them, so we're going to be looking to do something of the same and get 3 points to put pressure on Spurs at the top of the table and maybe continue our challenge to try and win the league. Agar went close there, but here, look out for the game-changing moment as Ambrose runs through. Chester brings him down, and it's deemed to have been in the box. A really controversial one, that, because the challenge looks to have started outside the box, but he is sent off, last man, and he had to go after the penalty had been given. So, a game-changing moment. West Brom down to 10, at 0-0 as well. The chance for Ambrose to put us 1-0 up. He smashes it into the top corner, and the game has been turned on its head in the 25th minute. So this could really change the course of this match, and it's more than likely in our favour. So at half-time it was 1-0, they did manage to hold out, so we're going to make a substitution and bring goal scorer Ambrose off for Dicko, just to change things up a bit in the second half. We did try and play Ambrose and Agard up front to rest players, but here it's Bentaleb from the cross hitting the post, and Agard finishes it on the rebound in off the post. So easy, because they're 1 man down, and it was a great delivery by Andre Wisdom though to set the attack off. We take advantage now, and Agard's 3rd goal of the season makes it 2-0, and with 12 minutes left to go, another penalty. Really poor discipline from a Tony Pure side actually, it's easy to forget. Not typical of the Tony Pure side to be this poor discipline wise, but Dicko takes full advantage, 3-0, and we're matching at the moment our result against them last season in this fixture, which was a 3-0 victory. And Dicko here, unopposed because there's only 10 men on the field for them, manages to run through and score to round it off a convincing 4-0 victory. We've absolutely hammered them, and Tony Pulis and his defensive tactics are horribly undone. It just goes to show that no matter how much Tony Pulis may try and set up his team to defend, sometimes it just doesn't work when you get a moment like the penalty decision that just changes the game. So I guess their game plan wasn't prepared for that, and it handed us the win really. But I'll take that any day of the week. You know, you win some, you lose some with these decisions, and in this case we've won big time. So next up is the FA Cup tie against Reading. So I mean, hopefully we can win this. We did actually win the FA Cup last season, but because Microsoft Cloud wasn't allowing me to download my clips that I'd recorded for the video, I unfortunately couldn't actually show you guys me winning the FA Cup in a video, which is really annoying. So it almost in a way motivates me to win at least one of the cup competitions that I'm in domestically this season, just to actually let you guys see me succeeding in a cup and actually see the celebrations at Wembley if we win. So yeah, I mean, either be it in the Capital One Cup or the FA Cup again, I would be delighted if we could have that sort of experience in this career mode again. But there's still plenty of work left to do, because we have Arsenal over 2 legs in the semi-final of the League Cup, still Reading to get past here if we want to get through the 4th round of the FA Cup, so a lot of work to do just yet. So again, we were naming the same sort of weakened 11, but we were still looking to win the game. Agard turns them inside out and scores at the near post, and 13 minutes gone, it is 1-0 already, and we are in business against Reading. But they do actually have a number of really high quality players and big names. For example, I only realised when I saw it in this game that they have Johan Kabay amongst their ranks, and I don't know how. Like, that just wouldn't happen surely, but he wasn't even involved in the move for Orlando Sarr to score the equaliser on 42 minutes, and it was a teasing cross, wasn't dealt with, and there was not much that the goalkeeper could have done from that point on. So it was 1-1 at half time, and they were right in the tie, so we knew we had to maybe make some changes to assert our dominance. We did that with Dicko and Burns coming onto the field of play, and we were looking to go ahead again and this time not lose it. From this corner, it looks to be no danger, but Dicko forces it in with the goalkeeper palming it into his own net. It was a really unlucky one for them, but you know, it just happens sometimes. Dicko tried to keep it in and maybe cross it. In the end, David Marshall, their goalkeeper, palms it into his own net, and that was the crucial blow, landing us a place in the 4th round. It's cruel on them really, and you know, it's not the greatest of ways to win a football match, but you know, at the end of the day, you've just got to get lucky sometimes, and we have in this case, so tough luck on them, but we advance to the 4th round. So we do have one more game left in this episode though, and it is possibly the biggest game of the season against Spurs at home. And that's not to say that the away game against them wasn't big in the last episode in which we drew 0-0, but this game is an important one because let's just say we went for the draw again to try and be smart, because you know, at the moment we're 1 point behind them because they slipped up when we beat West Brom. If we were to just try and go for that point again, that would keep us in the title race and deny them the chance to go 4 points clear. So in a way, we do almost want to prioritise keeping a clean sheet in this game, because if we were to keep a clean sheet in this game, that would keep us right in this title race and Spurs wouldn't be able to put it to bed, and it would be down to who goes on the best run with the two teams not meeting each other again this season. So, you know, it's out of our hands, out of their hands as to, you know, how each other does really. So, you know, keep ourselves in the title race after this game and we can focus on ourselves. But here, that was a really dangerous cross that did result in an effort that needed saving, but we were trying to probe and create our own opening. Dicko has that snapshot, and it was really close actually, our first good attempt of the game. But they had a corner with 10 minutes to go until half time. Townsend, who still plays for them in his career mode actually, but never mind. He has the shot and it's well saved, so it did stay at 0-0 at half time. Suits us better certainly, I would say. And I know it's not particularly entertaining to have to watch, you know, an attempted 0-0 draw, but you got to understand in this kind of game, it's a must not lose, and if you try and win the game, often spaces are going to open up. Here there was a bit of a lapse of concentration as Ginter allowed Walker to have that header, but it came with nothing. And here Traore just can't quite get his feet sorted out and his shot is blocked. So 90 minutes we're up and another 0-0 against Spurs, and now we will be fighting tooth and nail in our other games to try and overtake them. It's a one-on-one battle now to see who can pick up the most points before the end of the season. So we are still alive and kicking in that title race, and at the end of this episode there is still much to ponder. So yep, second in the table after 21 games. They have 44 points, we have 43, sorry, and the only difference between the two teams is that they have picked up one more draw than us and lost one less game. So anyways, we'll keep fighting until the end, and if you want to see the next episode, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out.
I'm running away from this pain. I'm trying to find a new way. sun shining down on my face. I'm running away.